Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Strixhaven draft here on the channel. Before I dive in, I do want to remind you that if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment with your questions, thoughts, and feedback. It's free to do all of those things, and I appreciate it. If you would like to catch the Twitch stream live, you can do so at twitch.tv/NicolaiBolas, and if you would like to support my work, you can do so at Patreon, patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. Gain access to some cool rewards in the process, like my Strixhaven tier list, and that sort of thing being put in the credits. Anyway, we have opened up a very powerful rare in Chalet, Dean of Radiance, and Embrose, Dean of Shadow. Ironically, I've played against Chalet a lot of times, and I've never faced the Embrose half because they always just cast the Chalet part. But if they drew it in the late game, I'm sure they'd cast the Embrose instead. Just a very powerful card, early drop or late drop that just has a lot of power to it and fits into any white deck. So you can play this in your Lorehold deck, or you can fit it into your Silver Quill deck. I have been finding that I think I misbuild my Silver Quill deck sometimes, so I'm going to be working on that. But this is a good rare to open. The rest of the pack is also pretty solid. I've been impressed with Eye Twitch, though I think I have been prioritizing it a little bit too highly. Thunderous Orator has been pretty good for me because especially in Silver Quill, you get access to the Inklings, and so it can gain flying pretty easily. Guiding Voice and Frost Trickster are pretty solid, though I think there are blue commons that are better than Frost Trickster. And then the lesson is nothing too special. Mage Hunter's Onslaught is also a decent removal spell, but pretty easy Chalet. Okay, after Chalet, we're still just going to follow it up with Divide by Zero. I know that I can't play them in the same deck, but I'm not willing to take a power level hit on the magnitude of like taking Expel or Silver Quill Pledge Mage when I have such a powerful option available to me. I think Divide by Zero is one of the best uncommons. It's kind of like in the elite tier with like Igneous Inspiration and Professor of Symbology. And I am willing to give up on my first pick for it. Hey, rookie. There's also, if I wasn't taking the Divide by Zero, I could consider Cultivate. I've been impressed with that. Elemental Summoning is also quite nice because it's flexible and you almost always want a copy of it. Cultivate's pretty good. Witherbloom Pledge Mage is good. And then, like, Eureka Moment's good, but I don't prioritize it that highly. And then, well, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to play in that color combo, and if I don't have any really basis to think that white-black is going to be open. It's essentially just forcing if I just start taking only white-black cards, rookie. Because I don't have any basis to expect that I'm going to continue getting past white-black cards. Whereas I have a slight basis to think I might get past more blue cards. And here, getting a pick 3 Rutha. Rutha is absolutely fantastic. Really one of the best uncommons in the set. I've been incredibly impressed with this card. And I feel like it's a great pickup here. There's also Explosive Welcome, which is pretty good. There's Inkling Summoning and Pledge Mage as well. But I'm very happy to get a Rutha. And I think after Rutha, I would probably take Inkling Summoning if like this was a blank. But given that there's a Rutha available, I'm going to take it here. And if then there's no summoning, I've been pretty impressed with Pledge Mage. Getting a copy of it's pretty nice. So I think I might do that over the Welcome. Welcome has been clunky for me. I don't know how much of a priority I put on it, really. Okay. So, This pack is interesting. There is a emergent sequence which I like. It's a nice 2-drop, and it also gives you some good like I don't really use it for fixing because I don't want to lose my splashed color, but it just accelerates you very well. There's also Masterpiece, which I really like. I've been impressed, and there's also Serpentine Curve, which I've also been impressed by. I think taking a card that goes well with Rutha would be nice. Though maybe something a little bit more flexible like Serpentine Curve, because that can go into a blue-green deck as well. I think Sequence is significantly better than both of those, though, so I'm just going to take that, and then I could consider splashing Rutha. I think this is just the best card in the pack. It goes with the Divide by Zero. Again, I'm not super committed at this point, but I'm going to note that there are some Prismari cards coming around, just not quite as good as the Emergent Sequence. Yeah, I don't like the idea of drafting a 5-color pile here. I would like to win. There's a Dust Speaker. There's also a Subtraction. I do like Subtraction. I've found Letter of Acceptance to be good when I am fixing, when I am splashing. And then Dust Speaker does some good stuff sometimes, but it generally works better if it's like the top end of an aggressive deck because you don't really want to be blocking with a 5-mana 3/4. But I'll take Subtraction. I'm pretty happy with that card. Okay, and now there's a Masterpiece. There's a Zoomancy Professor. Return Past Caller is pretty good. I think Return Past Caller is the best card in the pack, but it doesn't fit with anything I have, and I don't prioritize it that much higher than Zoomancy and Masterpiece. Masterpiece is good, and Zoomancy is also really good. Getting a Masterpiece would be nice. I'm just going to take the Zoomancy Professor, though. I've been very impressed with this card. Every time I cast it, it feels really good. And it looks like we've been seeing blue cards and green cards, and we could splash a top-end Masterpiece. But we haven't really seen any cheap red cards that are worthwhile. He says, there's a Snow Day. There's a Summoning. I do like Summoning. I also like Curate. So we aren't really playing white-black. I'm not going to take Curate over these two cards. And I think I'm going to take the Summoning. I really want to have access to one. Especially because I already have a couple of Learn cards. Opt is pretty nice. Tome Shredder is pretty solid too, but Opt just does a lot of things well. Pretty easy to copy or just trigger your Pledge Mages or things like that. So I like Opt in this deck. And now we'll take Curate. I like having a copy of Curate. The Spectre's solid, but I'm nowhere near playing it right now. I'm playing either blue-green or blue-red. Probably blue-green because I haven't seen a ton of great red cards. I mean, I've seen some Elemental Masterpieces. But yeah, Wheeling Ether Helix is nice. Serpentine Curve is a card that I would like. I have 5 non-creatures so far, and one of my creatures is not even in my main color, so maybe I'm supposed to take Serpentine Curve here. I've been very impressed with the Ether Helix too. These are both good. I'm going to take this one, though. I like having my first copy of it. I'll take Welcome. I might end up playing that if I do splash red. Beautiful. I got the curve. I do like Amplimancer. It's like a fine 2-drop, but I'd rather get like Scurrid Colonies and Needlethorn Drakes. Helix is kind of clunky, but I feel like I'm not going to end up that spell heavy. Like I am going to be spell heavy, but I'm still going to have some 2-drops and stuff. I feel like this is a slightly unreasonable expectation for where a pack is going to end up. It's mostly been on weekends and Uriel and stuff like that. Also, my class got canceled today. I wasn't going to stream today. Okay, Masterpiece. So we are seeing some red stuff. So we are going to want to splash red if we can figure out a way to get a Environmental Sciences or some other easy way to splash red. Maybe you're going to play all these red cards. We'll have to see. Well, this is a good pack. Hall of Oracles is really good. I've been very impressed by this. And it helps me splash red, potentially. So, really a game changer. I also love Mage Duel. Mage Duel is fantastic. Like, every time I have access to this card, it feels great. But Hall of Oracles, I think, is a little bit better, especially because we're considering splashing red. Even though these red cards are expensive, sometimes you'll just get up to 8 mana and be able to cast them. So I'm going to take Hall of Oracles. Mage Duel is a close second, though. Okay. And now there's a Zimone. I like the first copy of Zimone. The second one falls off a little bit because it is not really the most proactive 2-drop. It's kind of a slow card, but it is a nice top deck for the late game. Pop Quiz is also nice. Whirlwind Denial performs pretty decently. Boom, we did it. Environmental Sciences basically over anything here. So that makes it really easy to splash red because then all of our cards, Arcane Subtraction, Divide by 0, all of a sudden are red sources. So perfect pickup here over like pretty much anything here. Eureka Moment and Frost Strix are both pretty good, but yeah. Okie doke, and now we get a Bury in Books over the campus. The campus would be nice for helping the splash, but it's by no means necessary, and Burying Books is just a fantastic card. And we could even wheel campus. People don't prioritize those cards very often. Another Science is coming around, but we only need one to be able to splash red. And Burying Books is quite good. Because we already have one red source, and then and then we'll have our mountain. So yeah, we're gonna be fine on red sources. And a Quandrix command, you'll love to see it. Absolute beating of a card. Currently, I only have 3 creatures, so this Serpentine Curve is going to be fantastic. I am going to take Burying Books over Mage Duel here. It's close because I do like Mage Duel, but when I have 3 creatures right now, it's not really that appealing to take Mage Duels as highly, though I will still play them and be happy with them. Zimone number 2 is also a lot worse. It's a legendary card, and I would rather just get more interaction. Helps me survive to my late game spells. Maybe we can wheel one of those Prismari campuses. There's another Opt. There's also Leyline Invocation. But we already have some top-end spells. And this one's like going to be worse than Serpentine Curve or similar to Serpentine Curve a lot of the time. I'm just going to take Opt. Wow, great 2-drop Quandrix Apprentice. Oh man, it's so tough because Serpentine Curve is fantastic in this deck, but Quandrix Apprentice is just better. Because it helps me cast all these expensive cards that I have. And I have a lot of spells. Opt works really well with it as well. I would love Serpentine Curve. I'm not sure if I should have taken the Serpentine Curve over the Ether Helix before. There's also a Needlethorn Drake in that pack. Another Ether Helix. I'm just going to take Witherbloom Pledge Mage, though. Gives me a nice big creature that can gain me a little bit of life. I found having 1 Ether Helix is the perfect number. Because it is a little bit clunky. But multiple copies are not really necessary as much. And having a big creature is nice. Especially because it gains me life. Oh, I wish I could have got more Serpentine Curve somewhere along the line here. Oh, they're so good. They're so good in my deck. Okay, so I think I'm going to take the Amplimancer. I just find having 2-drops to be super important, and I don't have any card that I really need to be getting with my Solve the Equation. So I'm going to do that. I mostly just find that having like as many good 2-drops as possible is the best. I don't really find that I need to prioritize expensive cards. You just kind of naturally get a few, like Masterpieces or Red Card or whatever that you're splashing. And having access to just a ton of good 2-drops in blue-green, you just end up winning the late game anyway. Do I think Cody would be good in this deck? Cody would actually be very good in this deck. That's a good point. I only have 6 creatures. And I could even like cut something like Amplimancer. And I have a lot of expensive spells that can then cascade into smaller spells. I think Eureka Moment's much better than Biomathematician. I'm actually not a huge fan of Biomathematician anymore. The card's solid. Like, it's okay, but it's not like a priority. It's just a random 3-drop. And Eureka Moment can like be very, very good. Sure, we'll take Karok. So we have a lot of cards here. The Hall of Oracles is looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy that I took that Elemental Summoning. I now have Sciences and Summoning. For my 1 learn card, 2 learn cards. More learn cards would be nice for helping me splash red. I don't know if that's a fair approach to have Pseudonym. I've had pretty good white decks before. I'm not going to want the Groff. I'm probably not going to splash black either, but I'm not playing Groff. I'm not a huge fan of Groff. It's just so much worse than Pledge Mage. Okay, well, what do we want here? There is a nice top-end card in Ingenious Mastery, but again, I don't really need to prioritize top-end. I already have some nice top-end cards. Gosh. Mastery's pretty solid. It gives you a nice top-end card. I do like Pop Quiz, though, and I like Decisive Denial as well. I think Decisive Denial is just better. I've found with Ingenious Mastery, I've played with it a couple times and I've played against it. And the way that Ingenious Mastery ends up playing out is that you cast it and draw like 4 cards, and then you just die because they've got slightly ahead on tempo and you can't recover. I think Denial is a little bit better than Negate. A lot of the time it counters the same thing, but it can also be a fight spell. Okie doke. And then in this pack, I'm not going to take Urza's Rage. I like Fortifying Draft, but not in this deck where I'm pretty creature light. I could just take a Snarl, which helps me with my mana by giving me a dual land. Iteration is a good card too, but I'm trying to just splash the expensive cards. I'm just going to take a land to help me with the fixing. I have enough playables, and I'll be able to get stuff later. Been very impressed by Kelpie Guide. This card has been really, really good. Just kind of dominates the late game and ramps you to get there. Very impressed with this card. Needlethorn Drake is good. Okay, I think having as many 2-drops as I said is important. This isn't really a 2-drop creature because you don't really want to play it on turn 2. It just doesn't do anything on blocking really. But I have 1, 2, 3, and now 4 2-drops. I don't need a second Masterpiece. We'll be able to just win the late game with card draw and things like that, and Rutha copying things. I'll take the Apprentice. I do like Snakeskin Veil quite a bit. Taking that Ether Helix over Serpentine Curve has proved to be very, very bad. Or not, at least not great. I wouldn't mind Introduction to Annihilation. I don't think I need a second one of those. So I guess I'll just take it. Sometimes you just need access to some removal. And maybe I'll be able to wheel one of those other cards. Okay, I'm going to take Serpentine Curve now. This card's really good, but... Ugh, maybe I am supposed to just keep taking Quandrix Apprentice. It's tough. I think I don't need too many copies of Serpentine Curve, but I do like it a lot. I think I just got to keep taking the Surd card. This card is pretty, like, silly when you're playing with it. Again, I don't need to prioritize these Masterpiece, I don't think. I'm just going to take Arcane Subtraction, get myself another red source, essentially. Negate, definitely playing that. Really been impressed with that. Just giving myself more options. The Burrog Befuddler is not a 2-drop I care about. I think this deck would like so like this is the 2-drop that I always cut if I have enough 2s, and since I have 4, 5, 6 2-drops, I can cut Amplemancer. I'm pretty okay with that. What other cards do I not need here? I think we have one. Fine with that. I don't necessarily need Explosive Welcome. Yeah, I don't think Bookworm is super necessary. The card that I really wish we had is Scurrid Colony, ironically. Not ironically, but I guess that's a card I wish I kind of had. Or Quandrix Pledge Mage. Those cards kind of just win you the game on their own a lot of the time. But this deck is looking quite good. So we need to make a few cuts. We're definitely going to play 17 lands here, I think. With Environmental Sciences, you often don't really run out of lands, and especially with triple this guy. So I think we can probably cut Curate. I do like Curate, but it's the similar role to Opt, and Opt is just better for this deck because it costs 1 and does something similar anyway. We don't want to cut any of these. Serpentine Curve is great in our deck. So is Eureka Moment. So is Bury. So I think we can cut Explosive Welcome as a top-end card. So, tough decisions here down the stretch. 14, 15, 16, 17. This is only... Only 7 green sources is very low. I have 8 blue sources. Opt can help me find green sources too, maybe. 8 blue sources, 3 red sources. And this is also kind of a green source, but it's a little bit slower. I think I'm going to cut... I'm going to be able to hit my land drops pretty good, but I think I've not been super impressed by Explosive Welcome. It just is very clunky. Professor Bear is great because it helps me stabilize with just 1 card. That's what I like about the Professor. I think Elemental Masterpiece is a fine splash, though. I often cut the second Arcane Subtraction, but I don't know if that's necessary in this deck because I have a good number of lessons to go get. Like 1, 2, 3, 4 lessons to go get. It could just be Opt. Yeah, I probably don't need 2 Opts. I think Opt is lower impact than Arcane Subtraction. Yeah, let's try running it like this, I think. I am a little bit light on green sources for my taste. But hopefully that doesn't come back to bite us. Yeah, I'll see you folks in the matches. Before I get to the matches, it's me, Nikolai, coming at you from the land of the white light, and I want to give a big thank you to all of the patrons who support my work at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas, and special thanks to those at the credits level: Eric S., Gapio, Stephen W., David G., Arpeggio, Anders H., Cindy W., Jimmy H., Green Drac, Brandon F., Enrique, Capo, and Moostastrophe. I am really appreciative of your support. It helps me continue making videos, and if you would like to join the Patreon, get access to some nice little perks, and support me and my work, I really do appreciate it, and you can find all the information you need at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. But without further ado, let's get ready to rumble! Welcome to round 1. We have a keeper here. It's a little bit slow on the draw against certain decks, but we can counter some of their spells if they go for too much. Unfortunate there that they're playing... Oh, that's not the worst. They're probably going to take Bury-in Books, I'd have to assume. Yeah, goodbye Bury-in Books. We hardly knew ye. Them knowing about the negate is tough. Makes negate a lot worse. Well, let's see what they end up taking. Wow, Eureka moment? That's a weird one to take. Sure. I'll bury it if they attack. I'll bury it if they attack. And if they don't, I'll opt to try and find a land for this guy. Things are looking all right here. I will negate that. They probably have a removal spell. Let's just hope it's a sorcery speed one. But maybe they don't have something that can kill this guy. Yep. Heated debate. Okay. And Lash of Malice. Wild. So we're a little bit off on casting this because we don't have a real red source, per se. So now any land is a good draw, pretty much, because it lets us cast this. Yikes. What a bummer. Oh, nice. The mountain was actually a pretty good land to draw because let me put a counter on my guy. I think we're going to turn the corner here. Okay. Yikes. Nightmare scenario. So I may be at 5, but I think I'm in an okay spot. Never mind. Completely owned. Yeah, I lose. That was just such a good top deck from them. Oh, man. That was tough. Rough. At random. Oh, and they had a pretty good one, too. Remorse would have been a blank. Yeah, I'm just dead. Oh, that game was really unfortunate. Oh, if we had drawn the mountain earlier to get our elemental summonings out, it would have been better. Also, if we had not drawn as many lands, I guess. I guess we needed to draw the lands to cast the summoning, but still. Felt like we just drew clunkily there. Ugh. Whew. On the draw, I will keep this. We have this to get our environmental sciences, and this to find land if we need one. Or if we can. No 2-drop is a big relief. Well, that's not a good one. This way we can go Quandrix Apprentice into Negate or into Subtraction. Wow, they have really done nothing this game, and it's been so good for me. I do like Eureka Moment, too. And I will negate past summoning because it's kind of annoying with Team Pennant. Just complete whiff every time. Come on, man. I could get a card that destroys that thing and gets the pest for me. I can Eureka Moment into negate here, which I'm going to do. Just whiffing on this every time is such a bummer. Just gotta be kidding me. Oh my gosh. I can bury in books that Spectre of the Fens. A lot of good spells on the bottom, so I'm happy I'm going to be able to shuffle. Draws a card. Draws a card. They get this thing out, but that's not the end of the world. So I have a lot of lands now. I don't have that many lands left in the deck. So I have 7 lands here. 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I only have 4 lands left in the deck. Boom, that's a card. And I can start tapping things with my Kelpie Guide. Bummer. Oh, it is nice with the counter land. Good call. I didn't even notice that. I can't do it at instant speed, though. Wow, good observation, Chad. I didn't think about that at all. Hello, Simone. I'm fine trading one of these for a 4/4. Oh, they don't want to do that. Understandable why they wouldn't want to do that. Nice little double block setup. Good thing we're all good here. Oh, nice. Oh, they're so dead. And I can even cast Burying Books if I need to. No lands left? Oh, that's great. Thank you, Rookie Jack, for the subscription. Thanks for sharing the Twitch Prime. Well, that game was a beating. Whew. I think I want to add the second Opt in. Opt seems good in this deck. But I don't really have room. Too many spells, too little time. Thank you so much, Rookie. I really appreciate the kind words, and thanks for sharing the Twitch Prime. So we're 1-1. It's just, this is one of those decks where it's so hard to figure out what to cut or what to add. It's just a difficult build. I would like the second Opt, but I just think I need the impactful spells that can actually win me the game. Like elemental summoning and stuff. I've been considering building like a course, like one of those things where it's just like how to play limited type deals. This felt like it could be a cool one to make. Courses are cool. Okay. Let's get a win here. Oh yeah, beautiful. I'm struggling with the emergent sequence play on whether or not to get a mountain with it. Yeah, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to get an island. Because I can divide by 0 environmental sciences to get everything I need. I might block. That's a bummer. Really not great. Oh. That's tough. Real tough. I feel like if I was on the play, I would have won this game. I know I say that a lot about games in general, but it feels true. Sure. I take one from that. Oh, you're kidding me. I'm in so much trouble. I think I'm just dead on board. I think if I go elemental summoning, fight like Scribe, I can. Yeah, I punted that. I could have killed one of their guys. I guess I botched it. I did the math wrong. It's tough. My deck has some. I like the decks that have like a Quandrix Pledge Mage and stuff, so that you have like some like kind of winning strategy. I guess if I had gone Elemental Summoning, fight the Mage Hunter, they then just kill my 4/4 and kill me anyway, so I was dead no matter what there. They had that huge turn where they just Mage Hunters my Rutha, which was real bad for me. Mage Hunter's the only card that can kill Rutha in black-white, so I just had to hope they didn't have it. But it's hard to beat that store to start on the draw. I would have won on the play, I'm pretty sure. I could have just gotten my stuff set up before they were beating me down. But I was close. Like, I could have won on the draw if I'd gotten, like, slightly luckier. Like, if they had gotten missed on something. This hand is okay. It's not the greatest. It's a little bit clunky. Okay, I'm going to play the Snarl next turn. It's a little bit of a bummer that I have 6 lands in play, because my deck draws lands really well, but doesn't draw spells very well. Just a complete nightmare. Oh no. This could end badly. Haha, joke's on you. Got him. Got him! Got him! Get wrecked. Oh, yeah. That's right. Total justice. That was so perfect. The one card in my deck that's a 7-drop, just perfect timing. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Oh, Kadoke. Funny stuff. I kind of want to just get Introduction to Prophecy. This thing's also passable to get. I have so much mana. I think I have better cards that I can get. Being able to kill one of these would be huge. Yeah, sign me up. Just wait for them to activate. Oh no! It's not optional. I couldn't keep the other card there. No. Yikes. Dang it, I wish I could have had my Ether Helix. Oh no, Ether Helix would have been so good there too. Oh no. Just max punished. Wow, I would have won if I'd been able to draw that Ether Helix, but this guy's not optional. Gosh darn it. Oh, now I'm dead. Oh, man. Oh, the pain! Oh, I just needed one more spell. Oh, gosh. That one was surprisingly close considering that I drew literally 9 lands in my first draw steps. Though, to be fair, I did dodge that Humiliate. That was really unlucky. Felt bad. But you can't win them all. Sometimes you get unlucky. I think the deck was pretty solid. I think, in retrospect, maybe I was supposed to cut one of my islands for another opt. Someone suggested that. That would have probably been better, because Quandrix Apprentice helps me find lands, in theory. And, yeah. Or I could have added an Explosive Welcome, because just having another top-end card could have been nice. But I haven't been super impressed with this card. It feels like I can never have enough mana to cast it when I need it. But, yeah. The deck feels pretty solid. I don't know. It was hard to tell. Quandrix Apprentice did find me a lot of lands, but I also just drew a lot of lands. And so when you're finding lands and drawing lands, you kind of run out of gas quickly. So maybe this build would have been a little bit better. But anyway, if you were watching this on YouTube, in the comment section down below, leave hashtag dodging humiliate, because that was really funny when we top decked our 7-drop right after having all lands in hand. Almost won that game because of it. Remember to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, comment with your questions, thoughts, and feedback. Check out the Twitch stream, support my work on Patreon, all that stuff. And you can find my articles and the Discord and all that stuff in the description and pinned comment. That's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you next time.